this enemy, the sun. Since the beginning of time, man has yearned to destroy the sun. I will do the next best thing. Block it out.
Good God.
It is not the first time it's ever been proposed. The experiment to dim the sun in a bid to curb global warming. It'll be approved by the UK government within a few weeks. No, it's not the first time it's been proposed because Bill Gates proposed something similar. We must spray dust into the atmosphere to block the sun. And again, that still wasn't the first time it was proposed because Mr. Burns in the 1990s on The Simpsons advocated for blocking out the sun. I love this story, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, you want to know why these people are as dumb as a box of rocks? Because Mr. Burns wanted to block out the sun to force people to use his delicious, beautiful humming electricity. That is, when there's no sunlight, everybody got to turn their lights on, which is going to consume substantially more energy. So you're blocking out the sun, and then the heaters are going to turn on, and then the street lights are going to turn on, and then the crops are going to die. These people are as stupid as you could possibly imagine. Or in fact, they may be stupider. Here's the story. There's nothing quite like going for a walk on a bright spring day, but basking in the sunshine could soon be a thing of the past. That's because it has emerged that experts are planning on dimming the sun in a bid to curb global warming. The experiment to reflect sunlight away from the earth will be given the green light by the government within weeks. Outdoor trials could include injecting aerosols into the atmosphere or brightening clouds to reflect sunshine. The government's Advanced Research and Invention Agency, ARIA, has set aside £50 million for projects, which will be announced in the coming weeks. Professor Mark Symes, program director for ARIA, said there would be small controlled outdoor experiments on particular approaches. We have strong requirements around the length of time experiments can run for and their reversibility, and we won't be funding the release of any toxic substances into the environment, he said. So here's the argument. Marine clouds brightened with sea spray in the troposphere, and then sulfate aerosols sprayed into the stratosphere to reflect sunlight. Okay, fine. Let's be real. They're not literally saying they're going to block out the sun like Mr. Burns did. They're saying they're going to dim it a little bit. And if the sun is dimmed a little bit, perhaps you still wouldn't need street lights or heaters. I imagine it would make things colder. That's kind of the point. See, this is the problem. They argued that it was climate change. They argued that it was global warming. When we started pointing out that global temperatures weren't warming, that ocean temperatures were warming in some areas, but other things were happening in other areas colder, they said, no, it's climate change, not global warming. Well, now they're saying global warming. You know, I love this, the absurdity. Solar geoengineering refers to a set of proposed technologies designed to reduce global warming by reflecting a portion of incoming sunlight back into space. While scientists agree there is a need to quickly and dramatically cut carbon dioxide emissions, there are also concerns with the possible risks of geoengineering. Critics have voiced worries that geoengineering endeavors could backfire and even make climate change worse by triggering destructive weather patterns. One area of research involves sunlight reflection methods. This includes stratospheric aerosol injection, whereby tiny particles are released into the stratosphere to reflect sunlight. Another potential solution is marine cloud brightening, in which ships would spray sea salt particles into the sky to enhance the reflectivity of low-flying clouds. Salty clouds. Gotta love it. Pollution from these sulfur-burning ships caused them to be more reflective of sunlight, creating an overall dimming and cooling effect. Jim Haywood, professor of atmospheric science at the University of Exeter, said, if you inject small particles into clouds, you can brighten them, hence reflecting more sunlight back into space. Indeed. What is this? Devastating loss of thousands of miles of ice in the South Pole. Oh, heavens me. How do we know this could work? Well, there are a couple of very strong pieces of evidence. Ship emissions from the smokestack into the marine environment lead to bright lines in clouds over the ocean. Then there was a volcanic eruption in Iceland in 2014, which spilled out a ton of sulfur dioxide. What this does is it brightens clouds and cools the planet. What we need to do then is some form of field experiments. Look at this. Ooh, we got a geoengineering map. Look at this. This interactive world map on geoengineering prepared by ETC Group and the Heinrich Boll Foundation sheds a light on the alarming expansion of geoengineering research and experimentation. All right. Whoa, what is all this? What are they doing here in the 141 experiments? Let's zoom in. Let's go by my house. Let's go to West Virginia. Ooh, we get this. Maryland, D.C. area. USGS research on geoengineering approximately since 2008. USGS conducted a research program on capturing atmospheric CO2 by enhanced weathering of limestone. Oh, that's nothing. I don't care about that. That's stupid. Don't waste my time. They're going to mention that experts have previously warned the technique is a risky strategy that could wreak havoc on weather patterns, triggering severe droughts or devastating cyclones. Do you guys remember when they, cloud seeding, they flooded, what was it, Dubai, I think, and then they denied it? Here we go. Initially, the reports all said that cloud seeding flooded Dubai, and then they were like, no, it didn't. Dubai has been hit by record floods over the past 24 hours. This was recently. This is 1 year ago. So how unusual was the rainfall? They said that blah, 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 low pressure system, part of the world of long periods. It's not possible to quantify how much a role in climate change played, but the record rainfall is consistent with how the climate is changing. Oh, there it is. They go on to mention that cloud seeding involves manipulating existing clouds to help produce more rain. It can be done by using aircraft to drop small particles like silver iodide into clouds. Water vapor can then condense more easily and turn into rain. They say in the hours, I got to honest, I don't really care about cloud seeding, though a lot of people scream chemtrails and whatnot. They say in the hours that followed the floods, some social media users were quick to wrongly attribute the extreme weather solely to recent cloud seeding operations in the country. Earlier reports by Bloomberg suggested cloud seeding planes were deployed on Sunday and Monday, but not on Tuesday when the flooding occurred. While the BBC has been unable to independently verify when cloud seeding took place, experts say that at best it would have had a minor effect on the storm. The first story that came out, look at these photos, by the way, this is crazy, was that because of the cloud seeding, it produced too much rain and it flooded Dubai. Then they came out shortly after and said, actually, no, it's not what happened. Don't blame us. We don't want to be held liable. Okay. Here's a story from 2021. The funny thing is January 11th, 21, as much as everyone's screaming J6, other things were happening in the world. Forbes says, Microsoft's billionaire founder Bill Gates is financially backing the development of sun-dimming technology that will potentially reflect sunlight out of the Earth's atmosphere, triggering a global cooling effect. The stratospheric controlled perturbation experiment, SCOPEX, launched by Harvard University scientists, aims to examine the solution by spraying non-toxic calcium carbonate into the atmosphere, a sun-reflecting aerosol that may offset the effects of global warming. Widespread, what's funny is we do that, and then the planet starts getting cold. This is the makings of a great sci-fi dystopian novel. Isn't that, is there a dystopia that did that? Let me find out. I sound like a story, right? A sci-fi story where people tried to dim the sun because of global warming and froze the planet. You know what that is? I think that was Sliders. I think, was it Snowpiercer? Snowpiercer, that was it. In an attempt to stop global warming, scientists launch a climate engineering experiment to cool the Earth, but it goes too far. The planet freezes, and the last survivors live on a perpetually moving train. Kind of a stupid story. Here's the idea. The Earth is destroyed fighting climate change, so we all live in a train. The train runs forever. So, okay. I mean, you can do a bunker, I guess. People can live underground, but sure. I mean, I didn't mind the movie. The premise was that the guy has to fight from the back of the train to the front of the train. And the funny thing is, when you live in the back, you eat these weird, nasty Jell-O cube things. It's the only food you get. In the movie, he Chris Evans is the character, I think, right? He opens the vat to see what they're doing, and it's cockroaches all being mashed into a paste, and he gets sickened because he realizes he's eating bugs. I think in the original, I think it was a book, it was feces. They were recycling human waste into food. Well, I don't think you can do that, but, that's what they were all eating. And, it's a sad reality of how the world works. Nobody wants to admit it, but we all live off slave labor. That's what the liberal world order is. People in China work for pennies on the dollar. People in foreign countries work for pennies on the dollar to mine cobalt, and their teeth fall out of their mouths. And then we live like kings. That's the way things go. Here's another one. The Wandering Earth. Humanity tries to move the Earth from a dying sun. And it causes the planet to freeze. That's interesting. It's a Chinese movie. Here's another one. What is this? A near-future Earth dealing with climate collapse. Geoengineering is proposed, including solar dimming. Very realistic political in general. Oh, interesting. So it was Snowpiercer. But I think it was also is the first episode of Sliders. I'm pretty sure, because they accidentally go to a planet where you can see the city, but everything's frozen. And so maybe it was just like a new ice age, but that wouldn't explain why the city was there. I don't know. Snowpiercer, that was the movie. So I was going to say Mr. Burns. Bill Gates, Mr. Burns, not much difference, wants to dim the sun. The UK is literally going to do it. I don't think these people are very bright. I got to be honest. I know the response from the libs is going to be like, Tip, you're not a scientist. What do you know? I'm just saying, I don't understand the argument of dimming the sun over the UK to affect the entire planet. Sunlight hits half the planet at any given moment. And you covering a tiny little piece of the UK is going to do literally nothing. Except for you, I guess, temporarily. Like, hey, it's 2 degrees warmer or cooler in London. Okay, I got an idea for you. How about you mine comets for ice blocks and then drop the ice block in the ocean like in Futurama to keep the planet cold? Stupid ideas. I'm going to leave it there. Stay tuned. Timcast IRL is coming up in a few hours. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see y'all then.